Welcome back, Class 10, your physical education class. Today we will be starting with Chapter 8, Prevention of Injuries. Injury prevention is an effort to prevent or reduce the severity of bodily injuries caused by external mechanisms, such as accidents, before they occur. That means to reduce or prevent bodily injuries caused by external force, such as accidents, before these accidents occur. Injury prevention is a component of safety and public health, and its goal is to improve the health of the population by preventing injuries and hence improving quality of life. Sport injuries are injuries that occur in athletic activities or exercising. So, what do you mean by sports injury? Sport injuries are injuries that occur during athletic activities or while doing exercise. In the United States, there are about 300 million teenagers and children alone that participate in some form of organized sports. About 3 million avid sport competitors and 14 year of age and under experience sport injuries annually. There, which causes some loss of time of participation in the sport. So obviously, if an athlete gets injured while practicing or while in a sports, so what happened will be their time will be lost, they will lose on the participation time. The leading cause of death involving sport related injuries, although rare, is brain injury. If the brain is injured, then chances are that the athlete can die. When injured, the two main systems affected are the nervous and the vascular system. In the earlier chapter, we have studied about sports related injuries and the first aids of these injuries. In this chapter, we will study how to prevent such injuries. Prevention of injuries. There is an old saying that prevention is better than cure. Injury prevention is one of the best ways to ensure that performance doesn't dwindle, that means drop. That means it does not is not hampered. There are many ways of preventing injuries. Some of them are warming up and cooling down, fitness of the participants, use of correct equipment and maintenance of equipment, proper knowledge and rules of the game of or sports, wearing the recommended protective gear, resting between workouts, supervision of coach or teacher, proper training or skill and technique, and safe facilities. First, we will learn about warming up and cooling down to be done. Warming up. So, what is warming up? Warming up is preparing the athletes mentally and physically to adjust the sudden increase in the movement. So, before you start exercising, we all do warm up exercise. Why? Because mentally and physically we are preparing the body and the mind to adjust the sudden increase in the movement. Warming up is a process by which human body is brought to a condition at which it safely responds to the nerve impulse of the person for quick and efficient action. An inefficient warming up may contribute to muscle and tendon injuries. Components of warming up are jogging, running, stretching, calisthenics, flexibility exercise, games, sports, and event related activities. Why the muscles should be warmed up? Why warming up is necessary? Number one, muscles should be warmed up because number one, to increase the blood circulation. Number two, to enable oxygen to reach to the working of the muscle group. Number three, to increase temperature of the muscles. Number four, to increase metabolism of the muscles. Warming up can be divided into two types, namely physiological warm-up and psychological warm-up. Physiological warm-up. What is physiological warm-up? In this warm-up, a player is prepared physically for the activity. All the systems of the body are made ready to bear stress during the activity. So, preparing the body is physiological warm-up, and psychological warm-up means preparing the mind. Now, number one of physiological warm-up. Body temperature is raised gradually, which in turn increases the blood supply of the muscles. Warming up enhances the body core temperature. If the core temperature of the body is increased by 1 degree centigrade, then basal metabolic rate BMR is increased by 14%, which enhances the physical work capacity. Hemoglobin or RBC carries more oxygen, which results in more oxygen exchange between blood or tissue or myoglobin. Number 3, propagation of nerve impulses, that means signals, becomes faster and improves and sharpens the reaction time. Number 4, rate of contraction of muscles becomes faster as viscosity is lowered. Thus, the chances of injuries or wear and tear are minimized. Increase the stroke volume per demand of muscles to be used in the activity. It increases the lung ventilation, which supplies more oxygen. It results in the removal of lactic acid, which helps in improving the endurance. It improves agility, coordination, and range of motion of the joint. It helps the athlete to enjoy the second wind at the earliest possible. Now, these are the impact of the body while doing physiological warm-up. Now, physiological warm-up can be done in two ways: active warm-up and passive warm-up. Active warm-up means in this warm-up, the body temperature is raised by active participation of muscles through some preliminary exercises rehearsed for 10 to 30 minutes depending upon the nature of the actual activity. This can be done in two ways. Number 1, general warm-up. In this type of general activity like jogging, sprinting, calisthenics and stretching exercises, etc. are performed in which are common for all the games. General warm-up means before any type of game, some general type of warm-up is there. But specific warm-up means this is a specific type of exercise to be performed after the general warm-up. These movements are to be performed for the main activity, which are done like layup, shots in basketball, kicking of football, bowling actions. So after the general warm-up, specific warm-up is done for specified sports. These general warm-up and specific warm-up comes under active warm-up. Now comes passive warm-up. What is passive warm-up? In this type of warm-up, the body temperature is not raised by active participation of muscles. Some other methods which increase the body circulation and activation of muscles by body massage, steam bath, hot water bath, hot beverages are used in passive method. These all things comes under physiological warm-up. Now comes psychological warm-up. In this warm-up, athletes are prepared mentally for the activity. It is very important for all games and sports, especially combating games like judo, wrestling, boxing, etc. Psychological warm-up can be started many days before the competition and can be given during the actual competition. That means it's a long process. Mentally, you are preparing for the sports. It reduces the tension and nervousness. It improves the concentration required for the main task. Through psychological warm-up, a player is motivated by boosting his or her morale in the following ways. What are the ways? Telling the players about his or her capabilities, telling about the weakness of the opponents, clarifying the doubts, reminding about his or her past wins and defeats, through rewards and punishment, sometimes provoking somebody, thumbs up signal like this, well done. These are psychological warm up. Then comes cooling down. Cooling down is lowering the intensity of the work or bringing back the body to normal by deep breathing released on exercise, slow jogging and stretching. Warmed up, then you have to cool down. It prevents post-activity soreness and stiffness. After exercise, we can stop there by pooling of blood in extremities. This can cause giddiness. Cooling down, giddiness means reeling of the head, feeling nauseating. So cooling down is essential for recovering to pre-exercise or workout state for readjusting various functions. That means after a heavy workout or after a strenuous match or after a strenuous practice, you sit down, you lay down and you cool yourself before resuming normal activities. So this is done to readjust various functions like physical, psychological, biochemical and physiological. Various components of cooling down are jogging, slow relaxed jogging, calisthenics, ballistic stretching, slow stretch and hold, or simply lying down. Benefits of cooling down: it reduces the heart and breathing rate, gradually cooling down the body temperature, returning muscles to the initial length and tension, preventing venous pooling of blood and in the lower extremities, restore physiological system close to baseline. So these are all the positive effects of cooling down. So in today's class we have learnt about warming up and cooling down in prevention of sports injury. In the next class we will learn other ways of preventing sports injury. Thank you very much.